All right, everyone. So today I made terrific inroads into figuring out exactly who I am. So I actually don't know where to start. I I know what I want to talk about, but have you ever tried to make an introduction to something that is so deep down within yourself that you don't really know what to mention first? This video actually might be in different parts because I might have to think here and there. I've been thinking about this all day, but I still don't have a complete grasp of what I think that I've realized. So let's use an analogy. Analogies are often useful, though this is only useful to a limited degree, to a limited amount of information regarding who I am within myself. Um, when I was born, and years later, still in elementary school and into middle school, there were things that I was discovering in my brain that I had not thought or created. It's almost like there was a blueprint of a ghost town in my head. And the blueprint was there, and I don't know how it got put there, if it was from another life. But that blueprint of the town and the towns that I'm going to discuss was already within my head. Very few inhabitants, but there were inhabitants. Um, all the parts of myself have over time become more and more of the inhabitants of one of these towns, and also this other town. I found Arcolite, even though this may seem very strange. Arcolite is my guardian angel. I found out of his existence. I kind of discovered him late middle school, early high school. I know just because of reading things that I've written. And even family uncovered them, which is even more interesting. Um, it could be said that I found Arcolite in a mental hospital. Um, he had no purpose. And once he tried to, choke me when I was coming to interview him, just an outside spectator, like trying to talk to people in the mental hospital, he grabbed me and I grabbed him, and he held me around the neck and looked at me. And then he realized that I was a human being that he was meant to be the guardian angel of. Stretching the analogy a bit, I know, because guardian angels don't come from even mental um, psychiatric wards, ones that are completely in one's head. But that will hint at more in the future, I'm sure. But Arcolite is the kind of person who's like, you obviously know you shouldn't do this. This is a waste of time. Um, Pursue your true nature. And, we've been engaging for quite a while. And over time, I started to realize that there are certain instances when he is silent and that it means something that he is silent. Okay, so we fast forward many years. This town I've, fleshed out in my head, these different parts of myself inhabiting these various parts, all different so-called races, all different religions, spiritual ideas, political ideas or lack thereof, all the different kinds of things, all the different kinds of thoughts and personalities and beings that are within myself populate this town. I say it's a town. I want to say city, but it's not really big enough to be a city. Either one. The main one being the one where everybody's getting along, and the other one where everybody's fighting this force that is not compassionate, that's complete and utter cruelty. And I don't think that they're a part of myself as far as the cruel and non-compassion, as much as I'm fighting that within myself to realize who I truly am by fighting an illusion, perhaps. So I would say that I've been given visions, but not in the way that you might think. The structure of the town was there. That was a vision. It was there. I just discovered that vision within myself. It was given to me before I was born, I feel, or, when I was born, whatever you want to say. But that discovery was within myself. I didn't just, make it up. And I no longer think that these two, this one town and this other town, the one that's everybody's getting along, the other one where, you know, everybody's getting along but also fighting this terrible force. I no longer think that they're visions of the future, but visions of what I'm to realize. Um, so for many years, I thought that these things that were just given to me, as far as, these visions I'm describing, were actually things that were going to happen. People that were going to be, and places that I would found and develop. Slowly realized that that is not the case. And, you know, I have my Voidist philosophy. I've written a book on philosophy. Haven't been able to get it published, but I do want to self-publish on Amazon one day. I wrote this book years ago, and I'm writing other books now, but it's a whole Voidist idea. So without being long-winded, because I've already taken up too much time with the first part, my Voidist philosophy is that we can't think that we know what is beyond our field of understanding. And there's that void around what we think we understand. And perhaps because we think we understand it, perhaps the void is much closer than we think. But the Voidist person extends themselves further and further into that void beyond what we understand, and bring the light of our own consciousness there, various levels, further and further out, in order to reveal to ourselves what the nature of existence, knowledge, everything that is. And the freedom and duty to do that is what a Voidist does. You keep on pushing out and understanding more and more and more, and you keep on going into that void and illuminating it with your consciousness by studying it, by realizing it. And you go further and further and further. You could probably do that unto infinity. But the reason why I call the philosophy Voidist is because we're the ones who move into and traverse the void around what we think we know. Once again, the void might be much thicker because we might not know what we think we know. At any rate, I always envisioned me founding this people that would do these things. I would basically, would provide a freedom of information, an encouragement to knowledge, and also protect those who didn't have that ability or opportunity, but also extend that opportunity of knowledge, of self-understanding, and not just defend those who don't have the opportunity, but also bring that Voidist ideal of learning more and more, realizing more and more, into the void of the human conscience. Well, not conscience, consciousness, the subconscious of humanity. So for many years, I thought that these visions were, visions of the future. I'm coming to realize that they are visions of what I must do and how I must act within myself. The universe and the world doesn't bend to our conception of it or our desires for it. But what can is our own nature. We can uncover our own nature, work towards who we truly are, without trying to shift that which is outside of us, or without imagining that we can have a major role in what's outside of us. Realizing recently that all these different personalities and characters within myself, I'm kind of like realized this recently, I'm kind of like a mortal machine. It's like there's a book series called Mortal Machines, and basically, it's post-apocalyptic, and all the cities can move, spider legs, treads, whatever, and then they might consume smaller cities, but that's not really the point. These entire cities can move. This body that is Hunter has all these different sides, all these different entities within himself. I think that we all do, but I think that for some reason I sense it more. I see all the different, where all the different motivations and emotions and desires and intelligence, all these different And, there's subroutines like something that might be intelligence about this, or might be passion in this regard, or it might be a plan that never quite worked out and somebody who's failing, in the town, in the city. All these different things I personified within myself, within my head, and I thought that I was seeing that they would be there in the future, in the world, but they've always just been right here, and that's the city. Those are the cities that I've been ruling over right here, not ruling over. That's a bad leading. There we go. So there's a lot I haven't explained in my videos in regards to my own personal makeup. Oftentimes, I'm not really saying this with ego, though it sounds like it. I wish I wasn't so complicated, because I'm just starting to realize how complicated I am. I don't like this title. Most of the time, I think that, it'd be so much easier just to be a normal person. And, I say that I have identity disorder, but if you control all your identities, is it really a disorder? I don't know. It's to think on more. It's something that I still haven't figured out after many months. But, there's that weight that's lifted off of me. It's like, okay, I don't need the world around me to be a certain way. I just need to understand where my own personal cities, where my own personal denizens, and lead my own personal denizens into the future, where they're going, figuring out how to lead them into the future so that I can achieve apotheosis. This is thesis, antithesis, and of course synthesis of all these various, these two cities, where everybody's different, in one, everybody's different, but they're all getting along, got a lot of different ideas and different belief systems. And then in the other city that's war-torn, that's in battle, that's the one where we're fighting against a force without compassion, without reason, and that is the terror of the possibility of being someone who doesn't use themselves well, doesn't understand themselves, perhaps. Still thinking on it. I think some of the main characters, I already described Arcolite. He was revealed to me. He's very tall, black male, older, dreads right down to here, pure black, always wears sunglasses, always has a white armored suit with gold inlay, or just a black suit like all Voids wear, because you want to take on the mantle of the Void, what it looks like, in order to delve within it and be that light that's within it. So black suits, a lot of black suits. He doesn't talk much. He's always in the background of my head. When I feel him in the background, my mind wants to make the picture coherent. It wants to try to figure out what's going on. So I have images in my head of exactly where certain entities are, who they are, and how they're acting towards one another. Because though I feel all those influences without pictures, the pictures help me figure out what's going on. The video, the self-produced video that's always within my head. Of course, I have my Valkyries, Fury and Vengeance. Those can be used properly, but they're there. Those are my Valkyries that help me along my way. Not that I'm mainly furious or vengeful, but fury can be directed, and vengefulness can be proper or directed, and or. They both look like, Fury is a short blonde female, about 5'7". I'm 5'9" or 5'10". I think she's a little bit shorter, 5'7". Well, I know she's shorter, I just don't know how much. And she has, in a ponytail, blonde hair, right here, wrapped out in the back into a ponytail. Usually wears black pants, black dress shirt, and slightly grayish, more grayish suit vest. Doesn't look very feminine, I suppose, though she is very pretty. And then, of course, God, there's so many. So I'll tell you my other Valkyrie, just to not make this too long-winded, because it's definitely getting there. Other Valkyrie, Vengeance. The funny thing is they never really talk. They only communicate through movement and emotion. I can't picture what they sound like. They only move or communicate through feeling, if that makes any sense. Vengeance, she's taller than me, actually. She's probably like 6 foot or maybe a little bit under. She likes to wear kind of like a picture of a black outfit that's like mercenary in nature. You know, you have your strong denim kind of thing going on, all black. You have there for some reason she likes. It seems like she wants to have like more of a trench coat, just a little bit. Fury's always looking like this. Well, like a lot of the time, not always, but like staring into something. Vengeance is always like this, and Vengeance has, you can call it blonde dreadlocks sometimes, but or just really elaborate blonde hair with deep dark eyeshadow. She's always in the background. Fury's always up front. Of course, there's others, as of course my ambition, but I'm starting to realize ambition. The reason my Valkyries don't like the ambition that I was thinking ambition was because it was external ambition rather than internal ambition. And now they're starting to like her more when I'm starting to realize that we can have the internal ambition of conquest and not external. My Valkyries are both female, and and my ambition is also female, older than the Valkyries, and usually white shirt, white dress shirts with a kind of a black. How do I say this? A black, not coat. What is the word for it? Blazer, black blazer, and black pants, hair up in like a bun, very dark hair. And for some reason, she's always accompanied by 2 males on either side, whereas I'm accompanied by 2 females on each side. And the males are afraid of me, and ambition always wants to egg me on. And my Valkyries usually don't like her. But now I'm starting to realize that there can be a deeper ambition. But I'm going too much into detail. There's a lot of other detail I can give. I might one day. It's kind of personal because it's very intimate way I work in my head. But all the exchanges, all these places, all these rooms, they're all here. And I thought I was seeing it in the future, but in reality, it's always just been me with all these things in my head and working out myself. And I just realized that recently. Well, I suspected it in the past, but I just realized it recently. And I'm getting towards the end of what I can film for this one video here, but there's this phrase that ever since I started having this realization that various denizens of my mind have been putting up on the walls. There's city plans. There's I have almost everything mapped out by accident because I felt like I just discovered it. But some of the Voidus soldiers who protect knowledge and also protect those who lack opportunity and also give them opportunity. They started putting up posters in my head that say the founder lives in both cities. Spray paint as well. But there's also a lot of portrait pictures of the various, one various citizen might put up a portrait of themselves in their armor and their, by the way, Voidus armor is really hard to describe. It's basically like modern day armor that can reflect bullets, but it's also kind of metallic. Anyway, in both cities, there's posters being put up, the founder lives. And I didn't realize what that meant until I realized that it was a promise to myself and a realization that perhaps I'm not the founder of my own self yet. I haven't reached that point of enlightenment. But there's that hope. The founder lives. And it's also kind of a promise that the founder lives and that he'll get over all these things. And we still believe in him. Perhaps I'm not the founder yet. Or maybe I am, but in proto form. But I need to become the founder. I need to become that part of myself who can found things, I suppose. Anyway, it's just a little bit of an intro to what I'll probably be talking about in the future.